something which is better than to bring peace and from a bad situation into a good situation. But I'm very curious because I like to hear what non-Muslims, especially thinkers like yourself, think about the Quran. Because the Quran, just from the first page, open it up, it says, this is the book that there's no doubt the truth. The first page, yeah?
Yes.
It says, this is the book, no doubt, and nobody can ever write a book and say that. They always second edition, third edition, and revision, yeah?
Yes.
The Quran is one copy, one edition, first and last, there's no, yeah? There's no second edition, it's the first one, and the beauty is, it's memorized. It was oral tradition, by the way, it's not written. It was an oral tradition, recited by the Prophet. This is what the Arab were perfect at. They used to do poetry, 1,000 verses of poetry, and the opponent will respond in opposite poetry, another 1,000 verse. They just that's what they were good at. They didn't have buildings or roads or government or anything. They only had a market for speeches and poetry, and that's why the Quran was revealed to them, challenging. They said, look, bring something like it. If it is not the truth, because Muhammad, the Prophet, he didn't read or write, at all, and he became a prophet 40 years old. Yeah, so. It's no way that he was able to read or write. This is not his own words, yeah? We should agree on this one at least, yeah? That he is illiterate, this is not his word. And he says, this was revealed to me. He never lied, this is another thing. The people who don't know his name, Muhammad, they used to call him as-Sadiq al-Amin, the honest man, the trustworthy man. Even his opponent, even his enemies, they used to call him, he is the trustworthy, he never lies. This is more evidence that this must be, as he claimed to be, a revelation from the Creator. And he's not changing. He hasn't changed actually the message of any of the other prophets. So since Adam, do you believe that there's a Creator?
Do I believe in a Creator?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be honest, and I'm going to tell you that I don't.
Yeah.
My background is in physics, although I have a very strong interest in the evolution of life.
Yes.
At the moment,
yes.
I'm actually getting ready. I've published some things recently.
Oh, fantastic.
I'm getting ready to give a talk at Victoria University next
right.
year on exactly this thing.
Wow.
The evolution of life. That's not just the dinosaurs and things like that, but the evolution of all aspects of life over a very long period of time. And so I believe in an evolutionary process. At the moment in my life, I have not felt the presence of any Creator. But I know people who do feel that. I know Christian people. I have very good Christian friends who believe that they have communication with God or whatever. So at the moment I don't, I admit, but I'm not here to argue with anyone.
Oh no, we're not
or to
arguing. No,
convince
just
anyone.
absolutely.
So-
But the beauty about the discussion, scientifically discussed, that where it's all began from.
Oh, yes,
Even
yes.
in evolution, we will agree. There is evolution of things, micro evolutions, and things are adapting and developing, and But what brought it into existence?
That's one you could debate, and not.
No. I mean, we're just talking a very simple term as human being, and from our own life experience.
Yeah.
Out of nothing comes. So this is just absolute, and it's agreed upon that you cannot bring galaxies and billions of them out of nothing, and they could not create themselves.
Yes, that is very difficult, and the top physicists have problems on exactly this point, exactly how the universe did come into being. And there are some who argue that it actually is possible for a universe to emerge out of nothing. I personally don't believe that, but on the other hand, there's no satisfactory alternative scientific explanation.
Yes.
So I don't
100%. I agree. But what the religious people, the spiritual people will say, we have this evidence that this book was revealed to a man in the desert 1400 years ago, and it's still kept till today, dot for dot, as he said it, memorized by about 20 million people.
Oh yes, yeah.
So we call this a proof that this is the truth, and there is a Creator, and he doesn't want us to stop living or enjoy our life. He's actually saying, I've created all this for you to enjoy, but reflect on it. And this is not it. There is life after this life. The real life begins after this life. This is just a journey, a passover, bridge to cross over to the next one. And whatever you do in this life, because we have the free will and the conscious and the thinking, we are responsible for everything we do, and we're accountable for it. Nobody can be intermediary between us and the Creator. He will ask us directly, one-on-one, and He knows. Nobody can claim that he's good or he's bad or he's, because it's something secret. It's in the heart. It's conscious. I don't know what you feel, what you think, what is your core belief is. And you never know mine unless I tell you this is what I believe in. But only God will judge. And He says, yeah, because He's the Creator. He make us. All the 100 trillion cells. He made them all. Or there's another one. 100 trillion cells. It will take us. I read this one. They say you can keep typing 50 words per minute for 50 years to type the information inside one cell. And there's 100 trillion of them. And it's information, it's not material, it's information. So information also is something come from intelligence. And this is what we believe, that God is the source of all intelligence, all beauty, all peace, all comfort come from Him. His name is Allah in Arabic, which means the true God. It's not because God. Everybody have an idea about whose God is. But when we say God, we're just trying to be very simplistic and says the Creator, the Almighty, the source of the created everything. And He must be different than the creation, obviously. He must be out of it, not controlled by it. He created the time, He created the space itself, so He exists before time, before space, before material things.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that would be interesting to have a look on your book or your research when you publish it.
Oh, I've published quite a lot of things.
Oh, wow.
I'm getting ready, about 2 months from now, I'll do a lecture, a public lecture at Victoria on this question of evolution, particularly life on Earth, and try to focus on life on any other planet on Earth. So I think one of the difficulties that people have with the evolutionary process is the immensely long periods of time that are available for it. So I'm not going to argue against what you were doing. It's just a comment that people have a difficulty.
Yes.
And they say, well, how can you have this lovely tree? It must have been created. Well, if you have 1.5 billion years of an evolutionary process, you can end up with it. This is my personal view on it at the moment.
Yes.
Or you can end up with a human being after 4 or 5 million years of evolution. And there are antecedents before that. These are my takes on it.
Yes.
As I said, my interest is hearing what other people think, but also because Muslim people in New Zealand are immigrants.
Yes.
Typically, there are not too many.
True.
So my own honest view is that we have to be very careful and help people who come in from other countries. This country is very new to them. To come in from the Middle East or North Africa or somewhere. And if people are not welcoming, that makes life very difficult for everyone.
Absolutely.
Some people are not welcoming, but I think, in the West, you might find it's 5% of people or 10%. And
Yes.
They make life more difficult for everyone.
Exactly. Absolutely. I mean, we can never describe the country with the 5%. Yeah. But back to the same situation where do you support the opinion that you can get things out of nothing?
Well, as a physicist, I've done some of my work earlier on, 20 or 30 years ago, was in theoretical physics. I didn't address that issue, but there are physicists who believe that it can happen, but you have to think about how you might interpret it. What I can tell you is that from my own studies in physics, which now go back 20 or 30 years, the behavior of the world is often very counterintuitive. There are processes at the very small level, the level of the very tiny, at the level of atoms, molecules, and so forth, that are very counterintuitive. You'd find them very hard to believe unless you actually tested them out using experiment. And then you find that a law or a result that you thought was impossible is actually true. Now, whether something came out of nothing, I don't believe that. But at the same time, we don't have a good understanding in physics about what the world was like and what the universe was like prior to that Big Bang. We simply don't know.
Yeah, exactly. The Big Bang, but it's just controlled so perfectly, we can't call it a Big Bang. It's the temperature the constants in the universe.
Oh, yes.
You can't keep constants unless there is a controller behind it. And in our body temperature, in the universe, in the galaxies, in the materials we use, billions and billions of things. It just cannot be. Why evolution stopped? This is the difficult question for us.
Why?
If it stopped, where is the monkey that's changing to a human being? There's still millions of monkeys. There will always be monkeys.
Oh, yes. But look, again, we could argue that. I mean, I believe that it has happened, and I think when I do give my own lecture, which is a public lecture,
Yes.
I'll be emphasizing that in the evolutionary process, you have very long expanses of time over which evolutionary change can take place. So you see a fossil, I'll be showing lots of photographs of fossils, and you see this fossil that may date back 100 million years or something, and you forget, prior to that fossil, there are tens of thousands of ancestors before it, and there were tens of thousands of ancestors subsequently. In fact, almost every species is evolving, but only very slowly, and very slowly by comparison to a human lifetime. So millions of years of evolution. A million years is a very, very long time, but in geology and in evolutionary terms,
it's
you
very
have
short.
5, 10, 20, 30 million years. They're enormous spans of time, and sometimes the evolutionary process is slow, can take tens of thousands of generations. Other times it can be more rapid. So,
but random?
no, there are random changes, random mutations that take place, and those changes may or may not give rise to the next generation that is better suited or worse suited to the environment. And it's a statistical thing to some extent. Very, very tiny advantages build up
that's
over
where the Quran
thousands of
challenges
years.
these ideas and says, look, just if you focus on any creations, you have the male and female of it.
Sure.
And just to have a male and female for this system to be perfectly suitable to reproduce, I don't think even 500 billion years is enough with the statistics numbers of possibilities. It has to be they created as made for each other, male and female. And that's everything.
You could be right. Now I feel it's the other way around, but I don't say that I know it.
Yeah, because of the aim for us is because there's not enough time for our life to discover everything.
Oh no.
So, and because of the mercy of the Creator, He sent the messenger with a book like it's being preserved like this. This is another evidence. It's been preserved in the original form, and somebody, as you said, foreigner like me, come to New Zealand to meet with you and discuss it. It's the whole setup is just perfect for you to ponder more, to reflect more, to study more, and to continue on the journey of discovery that there is a purpose for this life, there is a Creator, and we are just supposed to live the life according to the system He set up for us, as peaceful, loving, helpful, kind human being.
Okay.
Yeah,
But I hear where you're coming from. I agree with it. I have a slightly different perspective on it, but that's okay.
I fully understand. I know. I absolutely appreciate that you quiet. You're listening. Thank you so much, and yeah, it's a pleasure to meet with you. And anytime you have questions, specific questions about
I've never been to a
any
mosque,
verse
and I kind of thought maybe at some point I will. As I say, my motivation, I was curious to see what people think,
Yes.
maybe even meet some people. So
You're most welcome to. You're most welcome. Absolutely. So, our mosque is in Kinmore Street in Newlands.
Kinmore Street, yeah.
Yes. Do you have a phone number? I can send it to you the text if you like, and I can send you the activities we have.
Okay,
We have Kiwis that come to our mosque. They are not Muslim. They just come on Friday sermon. Sister Erin, she comes for the last maybe a year and a half now. She's not Muslim. She's just curious, as you say, to learn about the people and to meet a human face for that religion. Yeah. I'll give you a missed call. Then this is my number. Then I can send you a text. So what's your number, sir? It's all. Yeah, it's ringing now. Okay, fantastic.
Good.
All right. So that's my number. I'll just send you a text of the address. And Friday, 1 p.m. This is
Oh,
where.
maybe I could do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's called Al Amin. That's the name. Mosque. And it is 64 Kinmore Street, Newlands. And Friday, 1 p.m. is the sermon. Oh, sorry. My name is, they call me Sheikh Khaled if you ask about me.
Oh yes.
This,
Okay, I've got that here. Yeah.
yeah.
That's good.
So that's what my name is Khaled, but the title there, they call Sheikh Khaled.
Khaled.
Yes, yes. So I'm the prayer leader. I give the sermon there sometimes, but we have quite a few people to give sermons also.
Oh yes.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a software engineer, but this is because, as I said, minority of us, very few of us, so we can help out within the community. That's what we do just as a voluntary job.
Oh, that's interesting. What languages do you use?
In software,
Yeah.
it's all Microsoft platforms. So at the moment I'm working as application support, and all the software we do for the Ministry of Health.
Oh, very good.
It's all the e-prescription stuff. Everything is going online. So all the pharmacies, GPs, hospitals, all the prescription, drug prescribed, this come to exchange. Then they get the intelligence out of it just to see where they used. The government used that heavily in budgeting and focusing, where the prescribed drugs not being dispensed, because so many of you will be surprised, people don't go and get the drugs. They've been described because either they can't afford it or they don't trust it, or there's so many other reasons. Yeah, so very interesting area.